I just kind of have some slides here. I'd just like to walk you all through. The first question is there actually a difference between gender and sex? To give you all the answer, yes, there is a difference. So sex, again, is, based on your biological attributes and with regarding to what, your physical features are, your chromosomes, DNA, all of that is what defines you, or it defines as sex. Gender is nothing but the social construct of how people should behave, adapt, wear, attires, and all of that. I would just quickly walk you all through this gender bread. Nothing is in black and white. They're all shades of gray, be it with your identity. Like, it's who you really think you are as a person, as an individual, who you are, right? So that's your gender identity. And then your expression is how do you really want to express yourself with all the information that is available, and whom are you most comfortable with? And then you have attraction. Now, attraction is both physical and non-physical, which is again romantic. They're completely different, and the choices can be different. So that's wherein there is this whole spectrum that comes in there. Now, with regarding to sex, it is very, very important to know, yes, you have male, you have female, and then you have intersex people as well. So as it clearly says, identity is not equivalent to expression, is not equivalent to sex, is not equivalent to gender and sexual orientation. So I just wanted to again quickly shout out and say that yes, these are amazing personalities, Duty Chand and the two lawyers who were fighting for Section 377, Menaka and Arundhati. Gay, we have Manvinder Singh and Keshav Suri, who are part of the gay community. Both of them are married to their better half. You're bisexual. Everybody knows this woman, Lily Singh, who is in the US, but then she's an out bisexual person. Trans person also. Here you have a trans man and a trans woman, right? So intersex and trans are not the same. So transgender people are the ones who transition from one sex to the other, right? So here you see amazing personalities. Lakshmi Tripathi, who is a very well-known trans activist. She's a trans woman. And then you have Aryan Pasha, who's a trans man. Transitioning, intersex, different, very categorically I want to call out, but we all kind of want to put them in the same umbrella as transgender. Then now intersex community wants to have their own identity and want to talk about it. Say intersex. Now here you have this very well-known person, Gauri Shankar, who is out intersex person who's talking a lot about the intersex community. If you see questioning and queer are people who are still not very sure who they are, and they don't want to bucket themselves as lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans. So they are in that phase of understanding themselves. Yes. And lastly, A are allies. For you're like now allies for the LGBT community. To relate to is Selena Jaitley, a very well-known vocal ally. So plus also means including everybody and for people who are living with HIV as well. High-level overview. This was applicable for anybody and everybody who were found in the act of non-procreation. This law, Section 377, was predominantly valid for anybody and everybody, but it was more focused towards gay men and the transgender community. Lesbians were not part of this, while everybody else who were engaging in such acts were considered to be there. So that was actually applicable for anybody and everybody, but the straight people were taken off from this because they said it's kind of quite normal. We have come through a long journey right from the time that, 1861, where this specific law was brought in by the Supreme Court of India. And ever since, they've always been battling. But then we have come a long way with regards to bringing more awareness, bringing more conversations around this. And these are some of those very important high-level, decisions that were made by the Supreme Court of India, which gives us the liberty and us the existence and the representation. So I think the journey from the time when we have started to now, there is a sea change. I think the law bringing in or the law being removed is a huge barrier, because now we are having conversations out in the open. Now a lot of organizations have started their journey in inclusion for the LGBT community, which is a huge welcome because we really need that. Again, because of society and the reasons around it as well, the environment was not very conducive. Very out and proud and happy and confident person, but I wasn't the same before. I was always constantly worried as I was the only person probably who was standing out, and I didn't have the same attraction like how the regular or the general public liked guys from a very young age. I was like, am I the only one talking about it? Because I didn't see anybody else talk about it. Please thinking we are the odd people out. And when you're an odd person out, your confidence, everything takes a complete back step. And when homophobic jokes are being cracked, who would want to be out and proud there? Because they know that they will not have anybody to support you. But there are some people who withstand and want to go beyond that because they get that support. At workplace, I got the support from my manager. That motivates people. When you get that sort of extra push, extra nudge from your near ones or your work colleagues, it is amazing. When the best version comes to work without all these other issues, then you can see the way productivity goes up, your engagement goes up, the employees happy. Now, it is not addressed in Section 377, but it does come out in the NALSA judgment for the transgender community, where they have recognized the trans person. So it's male, female, and others. So government forms right now do have that. Now they're implementing and getting it implemented in the corporates or in the private sectors as well. So these are called pronouns, or the way that I would like to be addressed. Identity is who you are and who you really identify yourself with. Now, if you identify yourself to be a man and addressed as he, or as a third person also, like as you, it is going to be very wrong. And this happens more for the trans people as well, who probably transition or not transition, or people who are queer, who are non-binary, who do not want to fit into the mode of male, female. So for them, for example, as I said, queer person, Sam Smith, so he would like to be addressed as they, them. I think education really does play an important role with regarding to awareness. If you want to talk about it from a society aspect, we need to go back and start educating our children. And at the same time, everybody who's working, be it corporates, non-corporates, we need to raise that awareness.